Welcome to a video about generating health star ratings in a Foodworks online nutrition labeling workspace. In this video, I will explain how to set up your workspace to calculate health star ratings, or HSRs for short, enter the required information for Foodworks to calculate the final HSR, display the HSR on the label, and print or export HSR information from Foodworks. If you are unsure what HSRs are, please watch the About Health Star Ratings video linked in the video description and in the related articles section at the bottom of this support article. To recap, the information you need to generate HSRs are values for energy, saturated fat, total sugars, sodium, protein, fiber, percent FVNL, and percent concentrated FV. You also need to assign your recipe to a HSR category. Let's begin by discussing how to set up your workspace to calculate HSRs. When creating a workspace, HSRs will actually be enabled by default and your workspace will already be set up to calculate HSRs. However, if the HSR nutrients are switched off, I will show you where to navigate to enable them once again. First, in the navigation pane, select Workspace Settings and then select the Nutrients and Components tab. You then need to toggle to unlock the Nutrients and Components container and either find the HSR category in the container or select HSR from the Categories section, and the Nutrients and Components container will update to only show the selected category. Then, you need to enable all of the nutrients within that category, including Health Star Rating, FVNL, or fruit, vegetables, nuts and legumes, and concentrated FV, which is concentrated fruits and vegetables. Nutrients including energy, saturated fat, total sugars, sodium, protein, and fiber must also be enabled, which should all be enabled by default already, but again, if they are disabled at any point, you can enable them in this Nutrients and Components tab. After enabling the necessary nutrients and components for the workspace, you will then need to enter each of the values for your raw materials on their nutrients tabs. For example, if I open a raw material and select its nutrients tab, you can see the required values have all been entered. Keep in mind that if an ingredient has a mix of FVNL and concentrated FV, Foodworks automatically calculates the total V points. For definitions and how to determine FVNL and concentrated FV for your ingredients, see Step 5 of Section 4 in the Guide for Industry, which will be linked in the video description and in the related articles section at the bottom of this support article. Also note that you do not need to provide P and F points, which are calculated from protein and fiber in your recipe, because Foodworks calculates these automatically if you have a value for protein and fiber in the Recipes Overrides tab, and Foodworks will then apply them to the baseline points as required. After all of your raw materials contain values for the required nutrients and components, you also need to ensure your final recipe is assigned to a HSR category. To do this, you first need to open the recipe, then, on the General tab, select the appropriate category from the HSR/NPSC category dropdown. For example, Category 2. For definitions and how to determine the HSR category for your recipes, see Steps 1 and 2 of Section 4 in the Guide for Industry, which is linked in the video description and in the related articles section at the bottom of this support article. There are 3 categories that receive an automatic HSR, including plain water, unsweetened flavored water, and fresh and minimally processed fruits and vegetables. Additionally, there are 6 other HSR categories described in the guide. These are the same categories used for nutrient profile scoring as described in the Food Standards Code and are displayed on the screen. Note that you can also read information about each specific category in Foodworks by hovering over the information icon for each category. After all the required information is entered and a HSR category is selected for your recipe, you will see the calculated value for the HSR in the Analysis Pane. To check that the necessary nutrients for HSRs are all calculating correctly, in the Analysis Pane, check that there are no question marks or uncertain values, which are values displayed in yellow, and that the values appear reasonable for FVNL, concentrated FV, energy, protein, saturated fat, sugars, fiber, and sodium. If there is a question mark for one of the nutrients, for example in my recipe you can see that sodium has a question mark, this means that the final sodium value cannot be calculated due to missing values in the raw materials. To resolve, in the analysis pane, select the nutrient with the missing value, for example in this case sodium, then look at the nutrient focus column to check for missing values for any of the ingredients. Then you can open the problem resources by selecting the ellipsis at the end of the ingredient row and clicking Open Custom Resource to make any necessary changes to the raw materials and ingredients. In this instance, you can see that all of my raw materials do not contain values for sodium, so I will need to open them one by one and enter sodium values on the Raw Materials Nutrients tabs. Once this is done, you will see that sodium now contains a final value for the recipe. The other example was to check if any values are displayed in yellow, which means the value is an uncertain value. For example, you can see here that sugars are being displayed in yellow, which typically means one or more of the raw materials are missing values for sugars. Again, I can click sugar in the analysis pane and find which raw materials are missing values, then fix them individually. Now, when you look at sugar, it is no longer in yellow for the final recipe. Let's move on to now displaying the HSR graphic on your label. In Foodworks, several standard designs for the HSR system graphic are available to choose from. For guidance on the principles of the HSR system and the details of its presentation on food packages, see the style guide linked in the video description or at the bottom of this support article in the related article section. To include the HSR graphic on your label, on the Recipes Labeling tab, select the HSR sub-tab and ensure Show HSR on the label is toggled on. Then, select which version of the graphic you wish to display from the following options: HSR only, HSR and energy, or HSR and energy and saturated fat, sugars and sodium. Then, select the HSR mark orientation, such as landscape, portrait left, or portrait right. You may also check the box next to QR code to display a quick response code on the label. Companies are encouraged to display a health star rating QR code that directs consumers to the health star rating website when scanned. When your label is ready and includes the HSR information you desire, there are multiple ways to copy or export your label information. First, if you wish to generate a PNG of your label, simply select Generate PNG and it will download immediately. This option is valuable if you do not wish to make changes to the format or styling of the label generated by Foodworks. You can also copy your label information to your clipboard to be pasted into a word processing app such as Microsoft Word or Google Docs. To do this, select the Copy Label button to copy your label to your clipboard. The HSR graphic will then need to be copied separately by using the Copy HSR button. You can also export the labeling information for the sub-recipes and recipes within your workspace to a CSV file. To do this, in your open workspace, click on the Tools tab in the navigation pane, then on the Export tab under the Filter heading, define what resources you would like to export based on the resource type and applied tags. You can then see the results of this filter in the Filter Results container. Then you will need to select Export. Depending on the size of what you are exporting and how many other Foodworks users are also exporting at the same time, this may take some time. On the Files tab, you can view the status of your export, and once ready, you can click the Download option to immediately download a zip file containing the data. For more information about converting a CSV file into a Microsoft Access Database or TAB file, and to read about the exported labeling information, please read the support articles in the video description or in the related article section at the bottom of this support article. When you export your labeling data, Foodworks includes information to support HSRs. The HSR columns published are shown on the screen. Finally, if your labeling software requires the raw images of the HSR graphics, you can also download these in the Asset folder from Foodworks Online. To do this, in the Tools section, select the Assets tab, then select Download next to the Health Star Ratings Assets file to download all HSR graphics. Then you will need to select the downloaded file to unzip the assets and use the PNGs. This brings us to the end of the video about generating health star ratings in a Foodworks Online Nutrition Labelling workspace. To access more video resources, please click the thumbnail on this screen. Thank you for watching.